We're live.
Yes, Michael, we're live.
Good morning, guys. This is our 93rd episode of our Koi Market Koi weekly live stream. Uh, we are a bit short-staffed today. Sean just wasn't feeling good today, so he's at home. So it's just Gabe and I. Gabe's behind the camera. Gabe, say hi. There we go. Gabe. Gabe has had a pretty good week, I think. What do you think? Good week so
Well, I
far. I
think
mean, it's been pretty hot this week. I don't know.
it's. I think it's the end of the four straight weekends of raining.
It was actually more like 7 weekends.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Which, if you
Whatever.
guys are local here on the island, it's every Saturday for the past like 7 weeks or something like that has rained consistently. And then it comes Sunday, Monday, it's beautiful outside. It's back to normal. So today, being Saturday, is the only day that it hasn't rained consecutively, and it's the last nicest day that we're going to have probably for the rest of the season. Next week, it's going to go dropping into the 40s and 30s. So from an 80-degree day all the way, cut that back in half next week and be colder is it's tough. It's tough, and that's quite honestly that's when we start doing our winterizations too. So did it come at a good time? Probably. How many people we got on, Gabe?
8.
We got 8 people. Good morning, guys. Sean is not here today. We're covering for him in the interim, but we won't be showing fish today. We are still continuing our 50% off in the small koi house sale. That's mostly if you're local. If you want to swing by before the end of the season, it ends this weekend. Come by, come snag a couple of other fish before the sale ends. Pretty much once the sale ends, the fish go back to normal pricing. For those who want fish that are not local and want to take advantage of the sale, these fish have to be shipped out by the end of the month. So by, what is it, Tuesday, Wednesday? Um, if you're wanting fish and still wanting to take advantage of the sale, contact me. My number is 631-921-3459, or you can contact me on Facebook at Michael Simoes. It's in the description of the video further down. Contact me, say you're looking for XYZ. We'll see what we have on hand, and then once it's paid for, we can ship it out this week, and you can still take advantage of the sale. And lots of people have already done that, and they've been very satisfied. So let me know if you guys are interested in anything, and I can see what I can do for you when I come back on Monday. But send me text messages, send me pictures of stuff that you've seen on the live streams that you may be interested in. Or if you have a fish that you're interested in that we may have, just shoot me a text and we'll go from there. But this show is going to be mostly about winterizing the pond, being that it's getting cold. Not today, but next week is getting cold. And basically, just what do we do at the end of the season? So, we always recommend doing a prophylactic fungal and parasitic treatment because those things just seem to be very resistant and resilient in the cold. Bacteria, um, depending on the type of bacteria that you're dealing with in the pond or the infection that you're dealing with on the fish, most bacteria have that dormancy period. But now, where it's that Aeromonas alley that we like to call it, where it's like cold, but it's not cold enough for the bacteria to stop uh, hurting or affecting the fish, um, that's when it gets tricky treating. But we do recommend if you are having an issue with your fish bacterial wise, we have on hand Koi Pharma's bacterial control food and Koi Pharma's pure nitro. These two uh, treatments work synergically with each other. So the nitro stays in the water. It's a whole pond treatment. It's as aggressive, not as aggressive on the fish and on your bio filter compared to things like potassium permanganate or chloramine T. And the bacterial control food gives something for the fish to ingest and take care of stuff internally, while the nitro mostly does external, but being that the fish are in water, water does get into them, and the nitro is perfectly fine for keeping everything cleaner in the water. What I consider is the food is taking care of internal stuff, and the nitro is acting as an antimicrobial, keeping the water clean, keeping the fish cleaner, so that hopefully, in the grand scheme of things, that the fish will start healing itself, taking care of itself in regards to whatever infection you're dealing with. But a disclaimer, it won't always work, especially if you have a bacteria that seems to be resistant. But for your average day-to-day bacterial infections that come and go, like Aeromonas and Pseudomonas and stuff like that, perfectly fine. It'll get rid of it within 2 weeks. You'll start seeing improvements. Question?
Greg Whitstock said, like
Hey,
the
Greg.
merch.
Say it again?
He said, like the merch.
Oh, thanks, Greg. Hope you're doing well. I don't know if you're in Utah or Illinois, but hopefully it's not too cold yet where you are. But thanks for stopping by on the show. Nice to hear from you. So the merch is for sale. We will be getting some more stuff hopefully next year to spice up the store with some other odds and ends pieces. So keep on the lookout for that. We have any other questions before I continue on?
Dan Nicole said, I had to use that medication last week, and it worked great. All of my fish are doing good. No more signs of anything.
Good. I'm glad, Dan. Yeah, I know we met up. We talked about everything that we needed to do, and I'm glad that everything worked in your favor. And this is what we like to hear. When products work and used correctly, you see results, which is very nice. Thanks, Dan, for stopping by and picking up some nice fish and getting everything treated correctly. Very good. So back to the winterization stuff and prophylactically treating. We use Proform C and Prozi. We do them together. If anybody's interested in the instructions on how to do that in a written form, text me and I can send them over to you. But we like to do them together in conjunction with each other. It saves time, and you're using one hand in hand. The Proform C helps to dissolve the Prozi, and the Prozi can be used at the same time as Proform C. It just works the way it is. And what you're doing is you're treating a broad spectrum of fungal and parasitic treatment, and also treating a medication, Prozi, that is solely for parasites, gill flukes, body flukes, tapeworms, etc., etc. Prozi is one of those medications that you can actually use at any temperature. So, God forbid, I guess if you guys see a parasite, a gill fluke problem in the wintertime, and the water is 40 degrees or whatever it may be, you can actually still use Prozi. You just couldn't use Proform C to dissolve it, or Proform C below 50 degrees. So if anybody happens to see something like that where they think they have a parasitic issue during the winter time, just send us a text. We'll show you exactly how to treat all that stuff come that time. Netting. Lots of people need netting for the trees that they have around their yard. They don't want the leaves ending up in the pond, decomposing, degrading inside the pond. That you want to keep it cleaner. So depending on the types of trees that you have, you can choose. Sure. You do a selfie video? What's up, guys? Gabe is going to go help some customers out while I stay talking to you guys here on the camera, all 17 of you. Good morning for those who just showed up. Netting. There's different types of netting, different types of holes in the net, and you want to use the right one for your type of foliage that you have. So if you have small leaves or pine needles or stuff like that, you want to be using a net that's maybe 1/4 to 1/8 of an inch wide. For those who just have, your generic oak leaves and maple leaves and whatnot, you can use a 1/2 inch to 1/4 inch netting. You can go up to a 1 inch if your leaves are big enough, and it all depends on how often you're going to be using it. Some people Was the mic out? Just fine. Mic may be out, but we hear you just fine. That's very interesting. Can you guys hear me now?
That's tough because that's not a question for me.
What's up?
He's asking for the gauge of wire that you would use on a small thing like that.
On that?
Yeah.
Give me 1 second, guys. What are you trying to? How aggressive do you want it to bend? I guess.
Just that? $156.41. Yeah.
All right. What's the matter? Got that? All right. So they're saying that the mic is not working.
Let's see.
I think it may have like disconnected.
Yeah, mine isn't either.
All right, guys. I don't know. Can you guys hear me with this one?
No.
I mean, I don't see anything on this either. Oh, okay. So they said they can still hear me. You know what it may be? I don't think these things work as well anymore. Let me see. So we had a couple of comments. Let me just run back through these guys. Good morning, Kathy.
Michael, which
What are you looking for?
is it this?
The wire?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all the same stuff. So that's a great question, Spring. Maybe put this here. So that was actually, see, Spring asked the same question we were going to ask.
What?
What's been everybody's favorite koi to develop this season? So Spring beat us to it, but that was our question that we were going to ask on the show was what's everyone's favorite koi, or what koi did you buy this year that you love to see grow? And lots of people like to buy a smaller fish and they take that risk of going through with it and watching it develop and watching it grow. And some people buy a lot of fish that are the same size, some grow double the size, some may not. And it's all depending on one, genetics, how aggressive the fish feed, and then you get into the characteristics of color pattern and how it develops. Did the Benny get redder? Did the Sumi darken up? Did your Soroji brighten up as well? Soroji being white. There's many different aspects that people like to look at and learn from as they buy smaller fish. This is how people learn. Again, hands-on experience. And Spring says that she loves the lemon that she got. Kathy Karate is saying that she loves the showa that she got as well. The Sargoy and Chagoy have tripled in size, which, if you guys don't know already, Ogons, or a single color fish, tend to always be the fastest growers, the largest fish in the pond. Uh, there's lots of things about them that just makes them just grow better. It's just
I
there's
also
less
gave
going
you,
on the fish.
this
The
is the bond,
chagoy
guys.
especially is the
Bonsai
closest
Guy's
to the
business card. If you have
freshwater
any
carp,
questions about
so
it,
you're gonna see
you
that
just give them a
genetic,
call.
that genetic
That
makeup
you are all
coming
set.
into play.
So aluminum wire, you got the juniper, you got the
Let's see
soil,
what else
and
we
then the
got.
pot. 132.41. Michael, we can do Apple Pay on this, right?
Not do that. Not unless you run it through. You can do it through Shopify.
Let's just use the card.
Yeah, because this is a separate system. Yeah, if you don't mind, just press credit and then you
Also,
can.
I think I already know the answer, but this probably won't do well indoors, right? You have to
So the stuff like this does need like a winterization period.
Yeah.
I'm not a big bonsai, like full of knowledge of bonsai, but ask Chris.
Yeah.
But I do know that lots of these trees need that cold spell, and then you can bring them back inside. And as long as it's temperature controlled, they get light and enough water, they should be fine. But give him a go, and he'll give you all the information you need.
I have to put in the information,
Yeah.
right?
It won't do that kick you out thing anymore.
So,
Oh jeez. Oh Jesus Christ. Just running through the other stuff. Excuse me, guys.
but
I know.
you want to compensate
That one's in the system. Yeah, 'cause it's one of those things where you just get to little known. Alright, we'll do this one separate. This one's is okay. Anything more? That's close enough. That's the same. There you go. Have a good one, alright? Alright, have a good one, alright? And call Chris. He'll give you all the answers you need. Alright? Alright, sorry about that, guys. Yeah, just throw that out. Alright, sorry. We're gonna go right back through the comments. Yeah, Michael Zasagi is awesome. Which we just saw you, Michael, so nice to see you on the show as well. Christine, excited to see how the Kinshoa Michael picked for me to develop. Those Kinshoa, they're interesting. They're very special. It's one of those fish where some people may like it, some people may not. It's just one of those specialty fish. And I think the ones that you got, Christine, are going to look really cool once they actually mature and flesh out all their details. Let's see what else we got. All right, no other comments. So netting is still an important factor. Lots of people.
Are you just gonna do it in there?
Yeah, I guess. Netting is an important factor. You want to be sure that you're having your pond netted. One, it prevents all the leaves and debris from getting into the pond, other animals from potentially getting into the pond, and the animal conversation all depends on the type of net. You know, the cheaper nets, which work for the winter time for leaves and stuff like that, may not work in keeping out all the animals that you may need, which is why we also sell the heron netting that we do, which is a thicker gauged nylon based netting. It's super tough. You know, you tug on it, it doesn't rip right away. There's very little sag to that netting as long as you stretch it out well and stake it into the ground. You know, with the stakes being every 18 inches to 2 feet, it keeps it nice and tight. And there's no stretch factor to that net. So once it's stretched, it pretty much stays that way. And very small percentage of it, you know, sagging and falling into the water. But again, it's all dependent on, you know, your guys' need and, you know, your area, the pond that you have. You know, you guys have a lot of predators around the pond and stuff like that. So Spring says we have 3 to 4 raccoons, and she has to keep adjusting the netting. Yeah, and we also have a possum I adore. So yeah, there's plenty of animals around that like to, you know, futz around with the netting and stuff like that. And although, you know, the netting does prevent them, sometimes, you know, they still find a way to get in the pond. I had a customer come in and he had, you know, too late had found out that raccoons were urinating and defecating into the pond because they were laying it onto the net, and caused some issues to his fish, which was, you know, really sad to hear. But it's one of those things where we got to watch out and, you know, see what's going on with the pond. And, you know, it's nothing on him. He has kept his pond, you know, clean, healthy, consistently water changing, keeping an eye on the fish, keeping an eye on the levels. It's one of those things where you don't think about that until something bad happens, and then he, you know, unfortunately finds out that he has piles of raccoon defecate all over the place, and it's been raining and falling into the pond, and it's unfortunate, but it's those things that we live and we learn, and we find out what's going on, we fix it, and, you know, it's one of those experience things. Quite honestly, I've never heard of it getting to that point where the defecate just piles up onto the nets, but it did, and it rained, and it kept on washing into the pond. And unfortunately, it ended up having his fish getting severe ulcerations, stress, breakouts. You know, he would try to use the medication. He would think it's getting under control, and then it would flare up again, and he would think, is the medication not working? Am I doing something wrong? And it was really until he found the core root of that problem did he then start to get a handle. He got some other medications. He tried some stronger stuff to eradicate all the bacteria that was thriving in that pond, and now he's doing a lot better. It's those live and you learn. You know, you hear a story and you're like, oh, like, let me keep a handle on that, knowing that you have that kind of predator or rodent around your pond. Another thing with winterizations, besides netting, closing out the filter if that's what you do, and blowing out the lines so that they don't freeze, is keeping your levels in check. And usually you won't see ammonia spikes or nitrite spikes, but you will have a fluctuation in your pH and KH. And that's mostly because of the snow or the rain that you may get. It's still acidic. Doesn't matter if it's wintertime or not. You want to just make sure that your KH is in check so that your pH stays in check. You know, adding baking soda. Some people will do water changes during the winter time if you have that ability, and they just do small percentages of water change. They fill it up gradually so they don't shock the fish. and they continuously keep on adding, sodium bicarb inside the water, getting that KH up, and keeping it steady throughout the winter time. You got a question to ask, Dave, or any comments to make? About winterizations or stuff that people need to be doing now? But guys, ask questions. Is there?
Make sure that there's a hole in the ice.
That's a good point. The hole in the ice, and here it hasn't gotten to that point again, which many years ago it used to. But if your pond happens to freeze over, it's very important to make sure that there's some sort of hole in the ice. We tend to use just an aerator closer to the surface so that even if it happens to freeze over during one of those cold spells, you're still introducing fresh air into the pond. Some people will use as a secondary fallback a de-icer to continuously keep a hole in the ice to degas it. Because if you don't keep a hole in the ice and it just freezes over, the fish are breathing and the carbon dioxide is continuously rising in level, meaning that there's no way for the gas to escape. So that also makes the water acidic. It takes oxygen out of the water. So then you start having this hand-in-hand thing happening, and it's just not healthy for the fish. All right, guys, ask me some questions. The show is probably going to be shorter, being that we're not showing fish, but if you guys are local, please stop by, come get your last chance of getting some deals. All right, so, hey, you Neil, how's it going? Is it necessary to treat the pond with Prazi and Proform C prophylactically before winter? Is it like a definite yes? Not really. But lots of people have this, tendency of they don't want to have to deal with an issue in the dead of winter. So they do it just as a fail-safe. Lots of people will sometimes just use the Proform C, but most people will just opt to doing both at the same time because it's just how it falls around, and you might as well just do it once. But some people may do it before the winter, some people may do it in the springtime when they open up, when their immune systems are still shot and they're not to full capacity yet. And some people choose to do both. And it all depends on the fish that you have, how they're reacting to the temperature change. But if I had to give my honest opinion, most people will do it in the springtime. The fish are coming out of hibernation. Their immune systems are not working up to par. And it's usually the most time that we have that Aeromonas alley that we call it, where it's cold enough that the fish may not be, fully going, but warm enough that the bacteria, parasites, and fungus can start latching onto the fish and causing problems. So if you didn't want to do it in the wintertime or before the winter, I would totally recommend it in the springtime. Once the pond is up to temperature for you to do both at the same time, once you have your filters going so that everything gets treated, everything gets cleaner. What else do you guys have for me? What other questions do you guys want to ask for the upcoming winter season? I know everyone gets that syndrome where they're missing their fish, they're missing their ponds, and it's one of those unfortunate things if you live in a state like we do where you have to close down. It's sad. It's a couple of months out of the year where you don't have something to do. So we feel that. That's why we have this show every weekend, especially more so in the wintertime when we start showing more and more fish that we get from Japan. It gets people through the wintertime. Even if you're just watching, just to watch all the fish that you guys that we bring in, it's something to do. It gives you that buffer period until you get to the springtime and open up your pond again. Gabe, question. Give me another question to ask.
Another question to ask. Damn, you really put me on the spot.
Yeah.
How long is your biggest fish in the pond?
That's a good question. So before I answer some of these questions here, to get some people talking, Gabe says, or Gabe wants to ask, what is your biggest fish in the pond? How many inches do you think it is, or if you have actually measured it, how big is your biggest fish in the pond, and how old is it? So Spring also asks a question: is anyone leaving any of their pumps and filters on this year in the Northeast? That's another great question. If anybody in the comments is from the Northeast, what do you guys do in the wintertime? Everyone always has a different methodology of doing that they've been doing for years. Here at Koi Market, we close down everything, pumps, filters, and all. We keep an aerator running, and the de-icer is a secondary fail-safe. But what do you guys do? And Linda Harwood, how you doing, Linda? What is the model of aerator that you have that is solar back? So I don't have a solar backup. We've looked online. We've tried to see stuff that's, worthy of the price, worthy of the quality, and we just haven't come across something that's worthwhile. Lots of these things are very cheaply made and they don't last very long, and it's one of those things where we haven't found the right product to stand behind. Right now we only have that battery backup, which is behind me, the Hialeah, the CP60, which is a 60 LPM. Those are good to have as a fail-safe. If you know something's coming, a storm is coming, you plug it in, keep it charged, and if your power happens to go out, you can at least get between 8 to 24 hours of air in the pond until your power gets back up and running, or until you can get your generator on. We have a couple of other questions that came in. How's it going, Ronald? Can I mix the koi pharma food and the powder at the same time to treat the koi? Absolutely. Nope, you can definitely do both at the same time. We actually recommend you doing it that way. Put the pure nitro in the water and then feed them the koi pharma food. Totally fine. They actually work better that way, and that's how we recommend you guys doing it as well. Spring says her biggest fish is probably 1.5 feet. It was here when we purchased a home 2 years ago, so that's cool. Yep, that's pretty much the average that most people get, is that 1.5 foot range. Battery backup I do have, Linda. That's the one that we have. That's the only one that we have available and that we've seen. I do have a couple of units in stock, so if you are looking for one, just let me know so we can get it packed and shipped to you. Let's see, what else do we got? Good morning, Brian. How's it going? So Linda, it goes by LPM, or liters per minute. The battery backup is a 60 LPM, which at the full 60 mark, it's good for around like 2,000-ish gallons, or sometimes 3,000 gallons. But it's really meant for a backup. So what people will do is run it on a lower level, and then add a spray of fresh water to continuously aerate the pond as well. My biggest guy is 35 inches and is 29 years old. Now that's cool. You heard that? Linda has a 35-inch fish that's 29 years old.
29 years old.
That's crazy. So that leads me to my next question. Linda, you have a 29-year-old fish. Does anybody else have a fish that old or older? Because quite honestly, I've seen big fish, but I've never seen an older and big fish. That's pretty.
And do you remember when you bought it?
And do you remember when you bought it? Well, Linda clearly does, because she remembers it was 29 years ago.
That's crazy.
But that's crazy. That's pretty impressive. Yeah, exactly. I would love to see pictures. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. What else, guys? What other questions do you guys have? That is a good question too. What kind of koi is it? This will let us know. Is it an ogon, or is it another type of specialty fish like the Gosanke family, a Goshiki, Fujaku, what is it? Can I have my water, please? It's so hot for a fall day. It's a little weird. He's a big orange butterfly. So a benigoi butterfly. Or an orangigoi butterfly. Well, you know, butterflies, you do count the fin. So butterflies, if you're going to be, you know, technical about it, butterflies do end up being the largest type of koi because of the fins, which is, you know, pretty cool. See, I love this. We're having engagement between all of our people here. We have Spring asking how are the fins, and Deborah's asking is it a U.S. or an import. This is great. This is what we do the show for, having conversation. Hi, Frank. Absolutely. And a net. I have the net here for you. Everyone's getting their last minute stuff ready before the winter time. Can you bring them up, please? I don't have my phone. It's a 40 by 25 Terra net. So you can do 40 times 25. And put that in. We're actually doing the show.
So 1,000.
Oh, that's okay, Frank. You're a common person on the show already.
This is my third
Your third appearance. There you go.
I usually get money.
It's a half.
You know,
Half inch, yes.
one of the big fish. That's all. Are you on it now?
Yeah, I'm on it now. Say hi, Frank. Say hi to everybody.
Hello, everybody.
You got it? Is that what it is? 40 by 25? That's what it is?
25 was 25 times 4. And then that is zero.
Okay.
Got a big sale going on. Everybody buy 2, 3, 4 fish. Let's go. Christmas is coming.
There you go.
Sure is.
Let's see.
What does everyone want for Christmas?
Yeah, what does everybody want for Christmas?
521.
So, Frank,
What?
what is your biggest or oldest koi? Do you have a good collection?
He's big.
Like almost 3 feet around there? How do you know how old the fish is? Just your best guess.
About 7 years old.
7 years?
8 years old.
So we have a customer of ours on here who has a 35-inch koi that's 29 years old.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
The age is amazing.
Yeah.
It's a look
She says it's an orange butterfly. Yeah. It's pretty interesting. Yeah, it's always good to hear about
Sure.
different people.
How much is that?
521.
Can somebody lend me any money? Why so much?
It's the type of quality of the net. Give me 1 second, guys.
Can't just give me a regular net.
This is stuff that's going to last you a lot longer than your usual net.
Is that it? What do you have on sale?
Got fish on sale.
Yeah.
I know you don't need it.
I knew there's 2 fish that I wanted.
Those are not for sale yet.
Why did you sell them? We'd sell them next year. What's the difference?
40 times 1,000. I'm looking at this. No. So
How much is it?
it's
$500? Can you discount it? What's that stuff, right?
yeah, this is just a 25-foot fish.
So what did you get? 25?
540. Yeah, you still need to stretch it out.
How long is it?
I think you were trying to do like 100 more. I don't remember what we had talked about. 7.
Those kind of things.
Yeah, but I would keep it as rolled out.
It's 300 now and it's 500 next.
I don't think it's gonna. I don't. Quite honestly, I wouldn't even know what price it's gonna be.
You know, it's a recession, it's gonna be less.
Give him a call if you really want it. If he says yes, then
I
I'll.
asked him 3 times.
Okay. Well then. All right. It's 5:21:40.
Where is she?
Sean is home today. He's not feeling too great. So.
Oh, you're good.
Yeah, he's doing good with that though. So that's good.
How much time? How much?
521.40.
You sold any fish?
No, we're not doing fish today. It's just him and I. So we can't
We've all
handle
seen it.
people coming in and.
We've all seen the fish.
You always have somebody coming in. It's like, wow, I've never seen a fish like that. That's
Sure.
yeah.
It's all good. Thank you, boys.
All right, no problem.
I'll let you get back to it.
Have a good one, Frank. I'll let you know. I'll put it on my list.
Thank you.
Later, Frank.
Have a good one.
All right, let's go through these questions. Michael Adrian, how big is your biggest koi? That's a good question too. Michael has a good selection of fish. Huh? No. Spring is asking Michael, what is his biggest fish?
What did Michael say?
Linda Harwood says that big fish was from the U.S. She also has a 32-inch standard Sankei that's 9 years old. Yeah, like a scaled, not Deutsch, not Ginner, standard. Not butterfly. A standard
Normal.
fin. Yeah, standard fin.
Normal.
We asked that question. Kathy Karate says, I just put Proform C in the pond this morning before our temps plummet next week. Yeah, it's good time to start getting all that done. And Michael just came back to do his as well. He ran low on Proform C, needed to come back and get some here. Linda Harwood says, we do a lot of fish rescues through our Water Garden Society. We see a lot of big and older koi. Yeah, and I see Heath, I don't know if you're on the show, he does a bunch of koi rescues too, and he was telling me how he really enjoys doing stuff like that. It's great to see that, people are finding their niche in this hobby, like what they really enjoy about, having koi, having a pond, whether it's growing out small fish, having a great collection, having this over-the-top filter setup or rescuing koi. Like, it's really cool to see all that stuff. So Kevin, we would show fish, but all the discounts that we're offering has to be all the fish have to be sold and shipped out by the end of the month. So me showing fish, and that rule not being adhered to, I just can't have that happening, which is it's just the stuff that we decided on today. So I'm sorry about that, but we'll pick everything back up next week. Deborah says, love the Kiro Goshiki and Budo Goromo and anything Ginrin, which those are always nice to see as well. Kathy Karate is asking, do you have any black rubber nets? We will be having more next year. It's one of those things that we don't keep in stock all the time. But we will be getting some, and we'll be getting it probably in next week. Man, everyone's just out today. It's good weather. Over-filtering is wonderful. What we're filter choices and dimensions. How's it going?
Good. What's the bosses? They're not here today? Whoa.
That's okay. He is not here today. He's not here today now.
I was going from the roll up my yard.
Uh-huh.
I was looking for a sprinkler. No, sets up.
Like for like a golf course and stuff like that, big aerator. Yeah.
Yeah, I got this big 6-foot round 5 ways.
Uh-huh.
And I had a ring.
Correct.
Somebody, I don't know what the hell happened to it. And we had little spots on it all.
Sure.
So it shot the water up one, and then the other one shot it inside.
Okay. So you're looking for something to replace that.
I was looking online and I couldn't find that particular
One.
thing.
So
they
what
said
I
that
would
they got the ones that was one piece shoots up. I just gotta know what state it is.
Yeah. What I would do is give him a call because he's not here. He's not going to be here today.
I can take a look at?
I don't keep those type of things in stock. It's more of like a special order. But what I would do is if you have a picture of it, send it over to him, and then he can do some digging for you and let you know. You don't. You have a brand, anything to work off of? I mean, if you describe it.
He said that they have,
Yeah, they do. They do. So.
I see those big ones like in golf courses.
Yes. The big aerators. Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to come up.
He could send you pictures of the stuff that he can get for you, and then you can decide.
You know what, if I need like a pump and that.
That's all one unit.
What's that?
The spray is all one unit.
Oh,
Like it pumps it through it.
Has a pump already in it?
Yep. 1 second, guys. Just give him a shot spot. It comes back around.
So it'll be like
On a grander scale.
this thing shoot up?
Yeah. It's a smaller version of that, yeah.
How far does this thing go?
Maybe 18 inches at most.
Huh?
18 inches?
So it shoots up?
Yeah. Past that.
Huh?
Past that.
18 inches?
Yeah.
That's it?
It's a smaller, it's for like a small fountain or something like that.
Oh.
It's nothing of what you're looking for.
Yeah, look for some will come up.
Yeah.
3-4 or so, yeah. What I'm gonna do is, I had bought it a long time ago. I put it in my phone sack. So I put that with the ring, with the pump, and then I put 3 lights on it. So it came off. Probably not that high.
Yeah.
It was nice. It was one, and then the one inside.
Yeah.
It's copper. Somebody grabbed it. So I had all the little pieces. You adjust them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All the way around and stuff. Yeah, it cost me $2 a thing. I would bought that. I've been meaning to. So I want to put it on mine. It's still got
Yeah.
5-way piece.
Yep.
I can't believe that they stole the toys.
I know, right?
He was over there, we were talking about it, because when we was first doing it, he had to go, I go, man, those things are cool. I go, they didn't beat it out long ago, I don't think, if you don't bolt those suckers down. Then I came like 2 days later, because I was working this, so I guess he brought them inside. I go, you gotta be kidding me. Did they steal these things? So he was over. Oh man, I go, you can't have a fucking thing anymore.
Yeah.
They steal every fucking thing.
Yeah.
That's all we got out there. Lazy motherfucking thieves.
Yeah.
That's all that's out there. And then they run you over and they keep going.
Yep. But here's Sean's.
Sorry about that, guys. All right, let's go. Go through these comments. All right, we may be ending the show fairly soon because we keep on getting people coming in. So Jim says, I haven't added a fish to my pond in over 20 years. He sure ripped it. And the only new fish that we have gotten are the ones that spawned in the pond, and that's always cool. Some people have more success with that than others. Unopened food and supplies are kept in our 3-season room during the season, but what needs to come inside to comfortable tubs during the winter. Yeah, so there's certain stuff that can't freeze.
They can't hear us. Kill the mic.
Kill the mic?
Yeah, they can't hear you.
Oh, that was, I muted it at some point. Hopefully you guys can hear me now.
Because my mom just texted me.
What, just now?
Just now.
We can hear you now. I'm good.
She said only music. You playing music?
Shouldn't be. No, I'm good. Alright, so test kits, yes, you can't freeze. Any sort of medication shouldn't be in the cold. Foods should always be kept in a cool, dry place. Liquids, lots of the liquids can't freeze or else it starts separating and goes bad. Yeah, stuff like that. Deborah Schreiber is asking, when are you guys heading to Japan? So we are going from December 2nd to the 16th. We'll be there for 2 weeks. Send me the types of koi that you guys are looking for. We'll be looking for a whole bunch of different stuff, but if you're looking for something specific, and we have it there in front of us, and we can send you guys a video.
What's that?
On WhatsApp, yeah, exactly. We'll be using WhatsApp because it's more prevalent there, and that's probably what's going to be the easiest thing to use. It's a Facebook app, so you should just be able to log right into it. What else do we got? Yes, I killed the mic. All right. Um, if there's no other questions or comments or concerns, I think we'll be ending the show. But if anybody is local around, Long Island or the tri-state area and wants to come down and snag a couple more fish with the sale that we're running, which in the small koi house, 98% of the fish in there have a 50% off sticker on them that you can get. And in the big koi house, we have some sales going on in there as well. If you guys are looking for fish, now is the time to do it for the best price. So if you're local, come down, come see us, and we'll hook you up with some great fish. But other than that, enjoy the nice weather that we have now before it gets too cold. Questions, comments, concerns about winterizations or stuff like that, give us a call. If you're local and looking for a winterization, call Sean. His number is 516-547-0164. So you can get you on the calendar, get your nets up on winterized, filter winterized. Now's the time to do it. Alright guys, it's been great. We'll hopefully get into the regular swing of stuff. On the next show, we'll start showing some fish again. But until then, have a great weekend. Gabe. There's Gabe for everybody. Have a great weekend, guys. Till then.